Is THV 11 News at 6.
Law enforcement officials are still searching for 25-year-old escaped inmate Wayne Schutz, who took off from his work release job just a little more than 24 hours ago.
He is 3 years into an 8-year sentence for breaking and entering, and police believe he may have drove away in a white pickup truck. If you see him, stay alert and call police.
Hello, and thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Brooke Buckner.
And I'm Faith Woodard. Tonight, we're following new developments in the case involving former England High School assistant principal and boys basketball coach Trenton Morgan.
He appeared in court this morning for the first time since his arrest Monday and is now out on bond. THV 11's Journey Taylor has the latest on where things stand and what still lies ahead in the case.
Former assistant principal and boys basketball coach Trenton Morgan made his first appearance in court today, where Judge Barbara Elmore set his bond at $250,000. And while he is officially out at this time, it is still a very active case. The arrest stems from allegations that Morgan engaged in sexual misconduct with a juvenile student. And while the community continues to absorb the news, investigators say the case is growing. England Police Chief Richard Friend says they expect more information to come to light in the next few days, but they're limiting what they can say right now to protect the integrity of the case.
That evidence has led us to speak to numerous people. Several people in the community have come forward and provided information that they didn't think was relevant in the time until more information came out on the news. And each one of those interviews that we've done have played a part and have added a little bit more to the puzzle to give us a complete picture of what we're looking at.
Chief Friend says he understands the emotion surrounding this case and its impact on all parties involved.
I think the family's, understandably upset, and it's got the community very upset, and so we don't want this to reflect on England as a whole. We truly believe that England's a good town, the school's a good school district, the school's cooperating completely with everything that we've asked of them, and the good people of England want to get to the bottom of this just like we do.
Investigators have executed multiple search warrants, including for cell phones and vehicles connected to the case. Other agencies in Lonoke County are assisting with digital forensics as they continue to build a timeline. Now today, a no-contact order with the victim was put into place. Trenton Morgan's next court appearance is set for February 9th, 2026. Back to you.
And new at 6, a Little Rock psychologist is facing more than 30 federal charges tonight for Medicaid fraud, totaling to more than $500,000. According to the indictment, between 2021 and 2023, 48-year-old Carmela Banks billed for thousands of hours of psychotherapy, even though many of her patients were referral clients seen only once for pre-surgical evaluations. Investigators also say she billed for more than 130 sessions for patients who had already died.
Turns out to be a very warm day today. Thought temperatures might be a few degrees cooler than yesterday, and a lot of it depended on where this boundary that moved in last night, where it wound up today. And in fact, it moved into central Arkansas and then lifted back to the north as a warm front. It's stalled out in northeast Arkansas, where the temperature is currently 57 in Jonesboro. We made it to 81 in Little Rock today, a record high. 74 Texarkana, 72 Mena. Right now it's 67 in Fayetteville. Where do we go from here? Well, we'll have clouds with us all night tonight, and early tomorrow morning we'll begin to see rain getting closer to us in central Arkansas. When you wake up with Tracy Bean tomorrow, you can expect rain that may impact your morning drive. So Thursday to Friday morning, rain and thunderstorms. Some heavy rain is possible. You'll want to slow your speeds out on the interstates and highways. Give yourself a little extra time to reach your destination. And don't forget to pack the rain gear as you send kids off to school. They're going to need it during the day tomorrow. Where do we go from here? We got the weekend, Thanksgiving coming up. I'll have those forecasts for you in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Tom. You duck hunters will certainly want to keep an eye on the weather, but will also need to keep an eye on vandalism that could affect you and the duck population. THV 11's Carter Thweet explains a recent incident in Conway County and why it may make you want to spend your weekend somewhere else.
Well, duck season starts on Saturday, but at least one of the really popular spots for it in central Arkansas, Game and Fish is saying you may have better opportunities elsewhere. It's because of a theft, a vandalism that happened all the way back in July.
On July 3rd, we discovered that thieves had stolen copper and created a big mess, really, just ripped the brains out of this pump system.
The pump in question is at Ed Gordon Point Remove in Conway County, northwest of Morrilton. Trey Reed with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission says it brings water to the plants that ducks like to feed on that attract them to the area.
The other big negative impact, obviously, is duck season's upon us, and there's no water to attract waterfowl and no waters for hunters to hunt birds.
The theft wasn't an isolated incident. Reed says some private farmlands in the area experienced something similar around that same time. Even though this happened in July, Reed says this particular pump is tough to get the parts for. Plus, being a state agency, they have to go through a long process to get it done.
They're telling us hopefully, late November, early December, we might have some of those parts, and of course it's got to be installed, but that's what it looks like right now. Don't have a definite date when we expect it to be fixed.
So with the pump broken, water isn't getting to the plants or creating habitats for waterfowl like it should. Moral of the story, Reed said you might want to find somewhere else to hunt for the time being.
Number one thing to know is there's not going to be a lot of hunting opportunity at Ed Gordon Point Remove WMA for the opening of duck season.
In Conway County, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Now, Reed says they hope to have the pump fixed by the end of duck season, when hunting conditions are typically a little better anyway. If you know anything about the theft back in July, you have to call the Conway County Sheriff's Office. Now, duck hunting season means it's also the holiday season, but if you're looking to decorate, it might cost you a pretty penny depending on how you shop. A farmer at Motley's Tree Farm here in Central Arkansas says purchasing a fresh cut classic Christmas tree could save you money over an artificial one. One reason for that is tariffs. Artificial trees have seen an increase of about 10 to 15% in prices, while the price for a real one has stayed roughly the same.
But before we get there, there is another holiday consumers are keeping their eyes on, and it's just about a week away. I'm of course talking about Black Friday, and for the first time ever, the National Retail Federation is forecasting for people to spend more than $1 trillion. Tariffs are to blame for this price increase too, as popular holiday gifts like toys, apparel, and electronics are among the most imported. Purchasing items brought in before tariffs took effect may help, but experts say you should do your research, especially with tech, to make sure it's worth it.
We've seen quite an increase in people shopping, refurbished versions of models of things that they are interested in order to get that, kind of extra savings. My biggest recommendation to anybody going that route is to just read the fine details.
And if you're buying anything online, experts also say you should note where your items ship from. Tonight, the North Little Rock Public Library System is preparing for an end to its lease of the Arkansas Regional Innovation Hub after a unanimous vote Monday. The hub will continue programs through the end of this year, but rising costs and shifting grant funding made continued operation unsustainable. Library leaders say the decision protects the system's long-term financial health, while staff and programs will continue to receive support during the transition.
Well, across the state yesterday, Arkansans made their way to the polls as special elections took place in some cities. Many counties are still tallying votes, but for some communities, the results have raised bigger questions about what people truly value in their towns.
THV 11's Maya Ellison gives us a closer look at some of the outcomes and the bigger picture behind them.
Improvements to public safety and city infrastructure could be on the way for the city of Conway. Tuesday's special election, officials coined as the Pick Six, asks voters to decide on 6 tax and bond questions.
Voters yesterday focused on the essentials. They solved real problems related to public safety capital, streets and drainage infrastructure.
Unofficial results show voters approved the 2 questions tied to essential services, meaning that the sales tax rate will increase from 1.75% to 2.125% to fund public safety and infrastructure needs. 4 other proposals, including bonds for a music venue, convention center, renovated theater, and Lake Conway Boardwalk, were all rejected.
That increase will restore some funding that had rolled off the books, and so it'll address some critical budgeting needs with regard to public safety capital, with streets and drainage infrastructure. It will return our rate to the rate that we had in place 3 years ago.
And in Sherwood, a separate special election saw a similar trend. Voters rejected all 3 bond questions, including plans for a new animal shelter and sporting event center. Combined, those bonds totaled more than $94 million.
Yeah, I think it's vital and healthy for communities to put those conversations on the table and talk about, hey, not only what do we want to grow into, but when's the right time to grow into it.
For Conway, the approved measures help pay for things like updated fire trucks and police vehicles. Equipment officials say is increasingly expensive.
I do think it has to do a lot with timing, and depending on how much uncertainty exists economically at any time, that really determines how far into the future a voter is willing and able to look.
It's unclear whether the rejected proposals could return to the ballot in the future, but Gates says the city's long-term vision remains the same.
And it's that Conway continue to push for its highest potential to be the great city that we know it can be.
In Little Rock, Maya Ellison, THV 11 News.
And while cities like Conway and Sherwood saw voters pump the brakes on several amenity-focused projects, Sheridan moved in the opposite direction, approving a $5.7 million capital improvement bond to upgrade parks and recreation projects.
Gearing up for rain chances these next couple of days, really more Thursday night, possibly early Friday. Weather impact advisory for these 2 days, and then the weekend comes around, pleasant conditions. Temperatures still above average for this time of year. A look ahead, though, will project toward your Thanksgiving holiday when we come back.